I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. Catching them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. It's Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch them, it's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend. In a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch them, my heart's so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
Pokemon?
Digimon's better.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z's better.
We've already done that before, I think.
Dragon Ball
This
Z
was a
to
lot more
Pokemon.
lively.
Dragon Ball Z's the best.
And with that, we open up Shred Cels, episode 56.
Oh, we're so old.
I'm your host, Alex Schmitz, and with me here today is Kenneth McNulty.
56 out of every year?
What do you mean?
All the years? Sorry. We've been doing this?
Yeah, that's where we are, 56 episodes.
I'm sorry, everybody. That's a lot.
No way.
They
Clara
love us,
Heimberger,
Hey, I'm in a food coma.
Peter Frank,
Hi, I'm Peter.
and Andrew Gleason.
I agree with Pete. Digimon's better.
I didn't think that would go with it. I'm so sorry.
So,
Firing things at Clara now.
Retire.
so for the
Stop shooting Clara with bottle caps.
yeah, so for the listeners,
Go straight
Kenny
up.
just plopped his Pepsi bottle, and the cap flew up into the air and hit Clara's head.
What? Right here.
You're fine.
Wow, what a
Kenny,
dream.
how dare you
Welcome
come
to
to
the
assassinate
podcast.
Clara?
This is how much my boyfriend likes me, guys.
I'm so
Stop
sorry.
trying to assassinate-
It's
stop
supposed to go up, not
assassinating
to
your
the left. Hey, Pokemon, right? Whoa, we gotta catch them all.
So anyway, as
Throw a rock to weaken it.
All right.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. So in case you couldn't tell by that opening, we're going to be talking about Pokemon today, specifically Pokemon the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back.
I thought we were talking
does he
about
strike
Johnny
back?
Bravo.
Like, this is
gonna
the first
need to
time he's
retire.
struck.
We
Struck
should
it?
do that.
Can we please
Hey,
watch
can we
that?
do Johnny Bravo? Can we do old Cartoon Network cartoons? Like Samurai Jack, that?
Well, we did one of those.
Well, we're gonna do it again.
We didn't do Johnny Bravo because we didn't do Johnny Bravo, but we did do Samurai
Yeah.
Jack, like Teen Titans, a couple other ones.
I'm so sorry I missed that. That sounds fantastic.
If I remember right, we had Chris on that one, and then he was like, "Yeah, I never watched any of these."
Chris, shout out to you. Wow. But
Yeah.
okay.
Good old Chris.
So this is Pokemon, just Pokemon the movie. Yeah, that's right. It's called Pokemon the first movie, right?
Yeah.
Just so
I'm
we
glad
don't
they
get
made that.
confused.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say
yeah.
that.
Well,
Just so you guys
so-
know.
Because there weren't any more.
Well, they knew at that point that they were going to be franchising it. Like the entire U.S. release schedule was made so that they could like parse out little things
Yeah.
and milk it for everything it was
It doesn't
worth.
say 2 years later, 2000 came out. So
Whoops.
I mean, it was
much.
2000. At least they label it as it was. Pokemon 2000.
Well,
it was
actually,
2000.
probably 1 year later because this came out in 1999 in America.
Whoops.
All right. Well, either way, I'm just glad they label them very cleanly. Pokemon the first movie. Pokemon 2000.
They lost that as time went because
Yeah,
now it's
because
like
after a
Battle
while-
of Dioxys or something.
Yeah,
That one is still my favorite.
Well, if they were numbering them now, they'd be in like the teens because there's been so many.
Whoops.
I've only
many
seen 2 or
Pokemon
3.
movies.
All right, so but before we dive into our discussion on Pokemon the first movie, we'll talk about a little bit of news and the animation we've watched since last time. The only piece of news that I saw that was really significant is pretty cool. Attack on Titan is coming to Toonami on May 3rd.
What? That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. So,
Indeed.
English dub by Funimation, so we'll be able to see that. I'm looking forward to that. I feel like that's perfect for the block. Thank you, Kanny.
I've exiled it.
The cap to your
The cap of destiny.
the cap to a
Wait,
spot bottle.
is John's voice in English just like, oh, the entire time? Is he
No,
pompous?
unfortunately.
They just
I'm
hired
upset.
Team 4-Star. Just
Yeah, I was gonna say, why doesn't Team 4-Star just do every anime? It would make it so much better.
It's true.
Because it would be funnier then. But
Yeah, well, and the Attack on Titan one is like there's a couple members of like from the DBZ team of Team
Yeah.
4-Star, but a lot of them are new.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Either
still
way,
like it a
waiting for the
lot.
second one to come out, guys. Shout out to you.
Oh, yeah.
Pick
By
up
the way,
Team 4-Star.
this is off topic, but Andrew and Peter, did you guys see the new SAO abridged? He did an episode 4 like a week ago.
Yes, I
SAO,
wanna watch
what's-
that 'cause this.
Sword Art Online.
Oh my god, this Abridged series is so funny.
It's pretty funny.
It's for horrible
so
people.
Oh, good. I'm a horrible person.
I don't know the guy's name.
I don't know the guy's name either. We'll look it up later.
Yeah.
This might be something we use Facebook for. Probably.
Hey,
not,
look at that.
though.
That's
What?
an excuse.
But no.
Peter using
Also,
Facebook?
speaking of which, I think I saw it. Did you get a Facebook? Did you finally give in?
I don't have a Facebook.
Well, you did make one, but you made it for like a class, right?
We're not talking
And
about
you
this
don't
this
actually
week.
use it.
So it's one of those not for use things.
we
You know,
don't
she
talk
made it for
about
a
this.
project.
Oh, wow. You
I
guys.
only use it for pirates.
Hey, it's why I have Twitter. I had Twitter because my school's like, you have to make this. I was like, oh, it's fine.
Why do I have to
And I
make this
failed.
thing?
Yeah.
We don't talk about it.
Moving right along.
All right. So moving on to the animation we've watched since last time. I've been watching quite a bit recently because I got addicted to a couple shows and started like the spring season of anime. So there's two shows, Kyoto Animation shows I watched. One's called Love, Chinibyo, and Other Delusions, like 12 episodes. Actually, I watched that then the second season. So that was a pretty good show, comedy show with some feels, but mostly funny. And then another Kyoto Animation show called Hyoka, which was more like of a mystery show, but that was also had really nice animation. The second Attack on Titan OVA, which I was just showing a clip of to
Second
these
one?
people. Yeah.
There's a first one?
Yeah, I showed that to Peter and Andrew the other day. It's
did
about
watch that.
this notebook written by someone who spoke with a Titan that talked.
Oh, I remember that. That was in the manga. It was actually a big point.
I was wondering, was this whole little like cooking thing, was that in the manga at all?
No way.
Okay. That
No
seemed a
way.
little
I
too
have to
silly.
watch
No, 'cause
both
the
of
manga's
these.
too serious
Yes.
for that.
Oh, definitely.
I'll send you the link on Facebook.
There's a lot of
Please.
murder happening right
How
now.
many murder?
Lots
so
of murder.
many.
Okay.
No one important, but
It's my favorite
not
character. It's
yet.
my favorite character.
no,
right?
they're not important.
And then just been watching some of the new spring shows. They're pretty good. Some like Captain Earth, Baby Steps, Black Bullet. One No Game No Life. Like there's a bunch that
I
I've
like
been
her
watching.
cowlicks.
Oh, in Baby Steps, the
No.
tennis one.
Well, that one, yes, and then
That
No
guy's
Game
hair's
No Life.
raging.
Oh yeah.
No, it was
Yeah.
adorable. No, the guy with his hair like pulled back. Oh, it's
No, I
adorable.
meant the spiked guy.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
in
that.
Baby Steps, that's the one thing I don't like about that show is the character's hair. It's a little
It's
silly.
like Zexel or Vexel or whatever the heck his
Oh.
name
Name.
was.
Is that from Yu-Gi-Oh? Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexel?
Yes, that one.
Oh,
he had a
God.
giant bright pink something. I assume it was some form of parasite.
Well, I mean, like, has anyone here seen the Danganronpa series?
Oh yeah, I've seen Danganronpa.
Well, Mondo's hair though.
Which one was he?
He was the biker.
with the afro, like crazy
No,
thing?
that's Hagakure. Mondo was the one with the orange, like, pointy
God.
hair.
Yeah.
His hair was amazing. I don't know how it worked.
Who was it? It was from that. What was the one with the palm-sized tiger? That show?
Oh, Toradora.
Yeah, Toradora. Was the guy that had infinite afro at one point? Was that the show with that?
Infinite afro.
That one guy in the opposite gang or something?
I believe you're talking about Bobobo.
All I know is there's this guy, one of those animes, he had like an infinite afro. It was fantastic. It was like a guy that kept over-exaggerating who it was. Some episodes from a different guy's perspective.
I don't know about that. I think you might be thinking of Nichijou, because that had a kid with an afro.
I don't know. All I know is it's great.
I
That
don't
was
know.
my favorite one.
I don't remember, but whatever. Kenny, what animation have you been watching recently?
Well, last one was on was the Star Wars podcast. We didn't talk about what we watched. So all the way back to the last podcast, I finished the entire series with you of High School of the Dead. So I saw all that.
You're welcome.
What did you think of that? I've heard
There was
things.
absolutely no fan service in it, actually. It was
Absolutely
very
not.
straightforward.
No
anime.
fan service at
It
all.
was pretty great.
I think you're lying.
I am. It was enjoyable, but it's really over the top.
Oh yeah, that. Well, what's funny is that's directed by same guy who directed Attack on Titan and Death Note. Actually,
I did
Tetsuo
know about that.
Araki.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
He's got
Best
some good
part
works.
is the zombies get panty shots.
Isn't that the best part?
Really?
though?
Yeah,
Everything
and
gets it.
boobs.
wow.
Everyone has boobs.
No one's left out.
Yeah, for those who've seen the show, I've seen the slow mo boobs rifle shot.
Oh yeah,
That's
that,
from that show.
that was pretty
someone
extreme.
actually calculated the math, and for that to actually work, Sayiko's breasts have to be moving about the speed of like a what's the name? It's a very fast jet plane. So,
So faster
know,
than
they
the
could've
speed of
been.
sound,
and then the
basically.
friction that it would cause would like cause her skin to melt off. So I mean, there's no way that could actually be possible.
She was
But,
going at the breast speed.
Okay.
Get out.
Any other anime?
Yeah, just usual stuff like One Piece. I watched the first 2 episodes of that one show with the suits and the blood.
Kill la
Kill. And
Yeah, that's a good show.
It is.
I watched all of Batman Spider-Man.
Yeah, we watched
that
Batman,
stuff.
Fireman.
Nice.
Baby
All right.
Fighter.
And Clara, how about yourself?
Pretty much the same thing Kenny's watched. What else have I done?
Yeah. What did you think of Kill la Kill?
I liked it. It was a little bit different than I thought it was, just from what I've seen on Tumblr, because it's like the middle stuff I see. So I didn't exactly know what to think of the story. Like, I liked it, but it wasn't what I thought it was. I didn't think it was this like huge academy.
The second
It
half
does
of the,
that. Actually.
totalitarian
the
place.
second half of the show is where it gets more of an overarching story.
Okay, because this part I was like, oh, okay.
Also,
It's got the one-shot stuff.
yes, Kill la Kill is never what you think it will be.
It's
yeah,
one that
I
it
know.
pays off.
Good.
That's what
It
I
pays
thought.
off though.
No, I
Stick
want to
with it.
finish watching it.
It starts off a lot like what
Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, I keep forgetting every anime. Yeah, because it's all the one-shot stuff, and then it's like, oh, story.
Yeah, no.
Episode 8, man.
It is
easier.
structured similarly to
Episode
Gurren
eight.
Lagann.
We don't talk about episode 8.
I love
The
episode 8.
sadness.
Oh, episode 8.
Wait, is that the one where they win?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
it.
That,
Oh, yes.
Everyone
Well,
died.
they win. They do
They
win
all win.
anything.
Hey, we've talked about the podcast. It's spoilers
Ignore
now.
my evil laughter.
Well,
Ha 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 ha.
We try not to spoil other anime when we're talking about, like we're talking about Pokemon today, not Gurren Lagann.
Oh, are we? I kind of lost track.
Whoopsies.
I know,
I
right?
did forget about
Us
that.
going on tangents, impossible. Peter, how about yourself?
I watched the first Attack on Titan OVA with you, and outside of that, I've been watching this really addictive show called FTL Faster Than Light, where you play a game where you're controlling a spaceship and shooting down other
Is that
spaceships.
a show? Really?
That's a video game.
Shut up.
It's a video game. It's just
Hey,
consumed
if you're
all
doing that, I
of
play
it.
Borderlands, and it's great.
Borderlands is great. Oh my
Borderlands is
gosh.
We
I mean,
did
I
finish
think-
Tiny Tina's. That was fun.
Dude, do it. I beat the game 8 times, and that
We
once.
did it.
Oh, you did? So you saw who the ending is?
Yes.
Isn't it
Yes.
fabulous?
Yes,
It
is.
Did you spank it?
Yes.
Dude, I spanked it so much. My friend died. I spanked it so much. All
Oh,
right.
wait. You know the ending? 'Cause
I
that
know
was
the
a plot
ending.
twist.
Yeah.
No, I know the ending.
Alex, what have you been watching?
I already talked about it. I was first.
So never mind. What are you watching, Andrew?
Wait, who's running this thing? Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jeez, Kenny.
I'm trying to help. Sorry, I had to swallow first.
I thought you were going to pull a producer card, but whatever.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I almost died.
Kenny is going to die on this
replace me.
podcast.
Anyway,
He has
what am
died
I
on.
watching?
He has almost
I'll get a
choked on
medevac. I'll
Pepsi
help
multiple
somebody come and
times.
save me.
Light on the
Follow me.
anime this week. Although I've been continuing watching the Clone Wars, I watched a few episodes of that. I'm still not
I
out of
did
the
too.
first season, so Grievous is still like a Saturday morning cartoon villain that gets
Don't worry,
spoiled
once he
every
gets-
time, and he shakes his fist and walks away. And I'm like, why,
The
Grievous?
best is when you watch Dooku do his stuff. Like seasons 3 and 4, Dooku actually is like, I'm a villain, and lets you know he's a villain by blowing up everything. When he leaves, he's like, all your things are dead, then kills more.
Cool. I'm thinking about skipping most of the first season. Is that okay?
It's important. You should really watch all of it.
Damn it.
It's not nearly as good as the rest of the stuff. Season 2 things pick up a lot more.
I know from Jeremy, there's one episode, I think it's called Rookies in season 1 that's focused on the clones, and it's really good.
I'll look it
So
up.
there's a few gems, but yeah, overall I've heard season 1's kind of bad, but 2 picks up.
Episode is in season 2, I think it was. I watched one recently too over the last few weeks. You'll just know when you see 99 in it. Trooper 99. I cried.
Ooh, what you say?
And what else? Oh, and my girlfriend recently started watching Young Justice, so I've been watching that again and feeling all the feels and the sadness. That got canceled. I love that show.
I'm so
That's good from what I heard.
Did it at least end conclusively, or did it end a cliffhanger?
Kind of. A little bit of column A, a little bit. And the second season ended the arc of the season, but they were clearly setting up something, they were continuing to set up something they've been establishing since the beginning of the first season. And they were moving forward with that. So it was half setup, half conclusion.
Interesting.
And I'm sad because I want to see what the rest of their character arcs were going to be because the characters were so
But the guy who canceled that show got kicked off of Cartoon Network because he didn't like cartoons.
good.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
it died
president.
young, got no justice.
Thank you, Kenny.
But like I said, he'll just get hired by the Fox executive so that
You're
he
not
can
wrong,
cancel
though.
all the good
Cancel
shows.
Come with me.
Yeah, I'm sure
Fox.
he's just there to cancel your favorite shows, specifically Andrew Gleason's favorite shows. We
Hey,
want to
Hey,
cancel them.
he retroactively canceled Firefly. I'm blaming him for that now.
Yeah.
I'm just lumping him
Yeah, I
in
was gonna
with
say.
canceling Firefly and all of the sadness.
Yeah, you're guilty for that now,
All of
Cartoon
this-
Network president.
Also Fox. Screw you, Fox, and your Firefly
Call
canceling
out. Yeah, I
nature.
was going to say. That was years ago, but we're still salty. We'll always be salty.
Anyway, but yeah, that's all I've been watching.
All right, so now we'll move on to the main topic for this
Whoop, whoop,
week,
whoop.
which is Pokemon the first movie, as I said,
Wow.
which came out in 1998 in Japan and 1999 in America.
Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Indeed, it's actually.
I have a
it's
question about that.
Okay.
Why is it called Mewtwo Strikes Back? This is the first time we've seen him.
Right. Well, it is an odd title, isn't it? Because I always get that confused. Because then the sequel is called Mewtwo Returns.
Yes.
But you think Mewtwo Strikes
It means the
Back
same thing, though.
would be
It's
the
like Mewtwo Strikes Back, Mewtwo Returns. You're like,
But
It's probably
technically,
just because he's revolting against everything that's happened to him. So
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
striking.
he's striking back
those
after
guys.
what Giovanni did to
he's
him.
striking back
Giovanni's
at
the
Giovanni
worst.
by murdering Ash and
Let's
friends.
be partners, by the way, not part. Why aren't you trying to subjugate something that leveled an island?
Yeah.
A really
Because he
bad
clearly
plan.
is OP as butts.
Well, obviously Giovanni's just not that smart.
No,
I
he's
mean,
clearly.
He's a man who plans, just not well.
apparently. But what's interesting about this movie is it's actually divided into 3 parts: Pikachu's Vacation,
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
The Origin of Mewtwo, and then Mewtwo Strikes Back.
The origin
and,
is sad.
And the
my
the
God,
Origin
like
of
20 minutes
Mewtwo is like a 10-minute part of it that was with the original Japanese version. but wasn't included in the American version. And it was apparently dubbed and released with
they dubbed it.
Mewtwo Returns, like the sequel film. This came as like a little featurette with that.
And it's really dark.
Yeah, and I read up on it because there's some interesting things about this movie because this was released by 4Kids. This is back in the day when 4Kids actually had the rights to Pokemon. The English version was heavily edited from the original Japanese along with various content edits. Mewtwo was... Oh, well, that's a little bit different. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so I guess the main thing here... Thank you. The main thing here is that they just released it as the uncut story of Mewtwo's origin, with Pokemon Mewtwo Returns.
He's a Babis.
And
He
when
was
we were
adorable as a baby, by the way. I don't think anyone said that.
He was adolescent.
I never heard of it before, so until I was like looking it up for this
Wait,
podcast.
I heard of it. You mentioned to us. We got this.
I did see something about it before this whole viewing thing happened, but yeah.
I had seen it, so I feel superior.
Like on
Oh, you
Tumblr.
had
I didn't know it existed, so I just
It
didn't.
just involved necromancy and bad decisions.
Yeah.
Necromancy.
Yeah,
and that's
Exactly what it was.
Yeah, because obviously 4Kids makes some bad edits, to things quite often. But
they did a great job with
but
One
in this
Piece.
case, shut up. But in this case, I feel like they might have been right because if I was like a 5-year-old watching that might have been.
Well, we just go on record.
that
Who's in the
would've
theater
gone
watching
over
this?
my
Like,
head
who
a
saw
little
this in
bit.
theaters? Was it just me?
Kids and
I
I
did.
saw it in
Thank
theaters.
God. Okay, so most of us did.
Okay, so everyone except for me and Andrew saw it in
How
theaters,
weenies.
apparently.
My parents wouldn't take me to any of the Pokemon movies because they said they look stupid.
No, it makes you feel
My
better.
parents
After
still
my
loved
mom,
me back then.
like, I'm not kidding when I say this. My mom told me years later, she took me to see this movie and said she hated it so much she'd never take me to a Pokemon movie again. I was like, Mom, can we go to this? She was like, no! As for Pokemon 2000.
Yeah, this movie has like a 16% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, like from critics.
Can't imagine why.
Although it's worth telling that like the user rating for it is like a 60%.
Well, that's
yeah.
nostalgia.
Well, partially, and it's not. It's actually one of the better Pokemon.
Mewtwo's
movies.
actually a good
It really
villain.
is.
I'll give it
He has
that.
a competent villain in it.
Like now that I see it now, a lot of the pacing is a little off. Like
Well,
there's a lot
yeah.
of wow, this happened rather rapidly.
Yeah,
There's a
they-
time for a lot to sink in. Like I'll mention this later when we actually get to the
Yes, we will.
topic, but the whole
or how like
Ash dying scene. It's like, well, that happened like 2 seconds later. He's fine. I was like, well, all right.
Yeah.
But as a kid, it's like, no. And it's such a shock that you really don't think too much about it. But now I'm older. I'm like, you could have waited like 5 minutes,
Yeah, I
had a
was gonna
couple
say.
people react. I don't
Let
know.
it sink in, then the Pokemon tears can make everything better. By the way,
Yeah.
if you get like a scratch, a Pokemon crying to you, does it fix it?
Apparently,
I
It
mean,
also makes you an angel.
it
was
literally
gonna say.
heals death, so they can do anything.
I was trying to find the song actually in the movie, and I could not find it. So if only tears could bring you back to me, and I thought it was gonna play during that time, but it didn't. And it's probably the saddest song I've ever heard in my
Wait, it's a
entire.
Pokemon song though?
Like it was on the first movie soundtrack I had. Like the lyrics are, "If only tears could bring you back to me, if only love could find a way." It's pretty much, "You're dead. I want to make a river out of my tears and sail to you." And I was like, "Oh, this hurts."
Whoa!
It's
Now,
really depressing.
You say it's the saddest song you've ever heard. Is it sadder than the Dango song?
Probably if like no one if you had 2 people listen to it, one who hadn't seen Clannad and one who hadn't seen the Pokemon, this song would be sadder. But because Dango is we know what happens with Dango.
Oh,
It's
yes.
the only words that ever made me cry so much I had to roll over my bed and not move for 20 minutes.
Oh, he was unresponsive.
Go, man.
But no, it's pretty darn sad.
Yeah, Don
Yeah.
go there. That was a stretch. Come here.
Thank you, Getty.
yeah.
All right, so why don't we just dive into it chronologically? So the first thing that shows up when you watch this movie is Pikachu's vacation.
Yeah,
Mark,
son.
and you see Pikachu's giant face, and I thought we were watching the episode where they were on giant Pokemon Island.
I forgot about that.
That island was terrifying.
It
Yeah,
really
it
kind of
was.
It had
was.
giant Pokemon. They weren't lying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. Well,
Well,
no,
they're
they
just
were. They were
robots.
giant robots.
Well, close enough.
You know.
Or
But
Pokemon robots.
You
yeah,
know.
and this sort of established, like, basically with all the Pokemon movies, they have these little Pikachu shorts that almost always show, like, a Pokemon, at least one from the next generation of, like, games.
They had
This one had a
Snubble
couple.
and Meryl.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
and this one.
Not
Dog
my
face.
favorite movie.
Well, Meryl makes sense, but Snuggle.
Meryl.
Snuggle.
Yeah, Snubble's an interesting choice.
Well, Snubble appeared a couple times in Johto because that snooty lady has Snubble, and it was like in love with Meowth's tail, and it would
Oh, yeah, I
appear
remember that.
sometimes randomly, like Jigglypuff did, but not as frequent as Jigglypuff.
And I actually have a story about this related to the Pikachu's vacation thing, because I remember around, like in middle school, I was over at my one friend's house, and we were wanting to watch this first movie just for like nostalgia's sake or something like that.
Meryl.
And he had it on VHS, you know. like,
yeah.
The good old VHS. And so we were rewinding it, like trying to get back to the beginning, and we were like stopping it to like play it to see like how far it was, how far we'd rewinded back. And at one point we were like, okay, I think we're good, press play, and it came in right on one of those transitions, like how they were doing all these things with the Pokemon. It was the Jigglypuff one. So you just have this thing of all these Jigglypuffs like rolling across the screen.
Jiggly.
And we literally laughed for like 2 solid minutes straight. Like one of those just things where you just keep laughing constantly.
That's
Jigglypuff.
wonderful.
It was great.
There's also a Jigglypuff song on the soundtrack. It's great.
Oh my god, I love that song.
Because there's literally a transition every 2 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they don't
really
need
is
it. They just do it to show off.
I know.
It's
Farfetch'd
like, look at these
one's
Pokemon. Though.
Like
Look at
literally,
these Pokemon. The
the short-
Magnemite one, though. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
no, that one was
Half
great.
Half the
Yeah, that was
shorts
scary.
were, if you took out half those like transitions, the short would be half its length.
It would be half its length.
But yeah,
Also,
the Magnet
one thing you're guaranteed when you watch these Pokemon shorts is that Pokemon will talk to each other saying Pokemon noises and give speeches in
But it's
Pokemon
hilarious.
noises.
It's so cute
And
to
you're
see
watching,
them do it.
you're like, that's adorable, but I'm sure that was really moving, but I just...
I know at one point, I don't know if it was in the show or not, but there actually were subtitles.
Yeah.
And I don't
I
remember.
remember it was between like Squirtle and someone else. If I
Yeah, and
recall,
they're
I
like,
do
wow,
remember it.
Squirtle, you're so cool, mature.
Giant
and he's
Pokemon
like,
Island.
yeah. Was that one?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
neat.
do
Because they got separated from their trainers.
I
Right.
do
Yeah.
remember that actually.
I
There were
remember.
subtitles. But in this one though, they did have like the narrator would usually come in and say, something about like how it was.
Pokemon are doing something.
Don't
Yeah.
scare the baby.
Yeah, it was
Cubone is
saying-
a lonely Pokemon because he's a giant asshole.
and because he's wearing the skull of his mother.
He came and
Also bad.
fixed and helped.
Eventually.
Yeah, and then Onyx couldn't do anything. He's holding the entire rope trying to pull Charizard out. We're like, Onyx, I know you're not that strong, but really.
Yeah, because he just has it like at the very edge, just like barely gripping it with his teeth.
Like, I guess I'll try, I guess.
I don't know what we're doing, but this rope looks tasty.
I remember because I re-listened to some of the old podcasts, and on a previous one, Clara, you had like a fit because you thought that Charizard could never get out of that thing because of his horns.
Oh, no, it can't. It would actually break its skull in
That's
half.
what I was thinking.
Because
Yes,
it could
indeed.
get in, but the way that it was, it would have to actually break the horns, and it was just so painful.
Yeah.
No,
That,
that
that
is
structure's
true.
made of rock. There are moves called Rock Smash or Rock Throw or anything, like even Brick Breaker, Karate Chop that could have broken that thing fine and gotten Charizard out. No, let's rip its skull off its
But
spine.
they're freaking out. See, I was thinking the same thing. I thought he'd never get out until they broke it. I thought he'd break it. It'd be cool when I was a kid. I was like, Charizard, use fly. But he never used fly.
As a kid, I always just thought, like, so now Charizard is Winnie the Pooh? Who bother?
Well, and I was watching a random YouTube video the other day. It was like about Pokemon sizes and how they make no sense because apparently in the Pokedex, Charizard's like 5'10".
yeah, it's not very
He's
big.
taller than
Yeah,
I
I
am.
know.
That's big to me.
Okay, but
Wow, I see how it
you
is.
can't ride on a Charizard though. Like he's as big as you are. Like
He's taller than me.
okay,
Sorry,
a little taller than you.
I mean, well, it's like, who's the big? Like, Venusaur's not that big either.
Not really, no.
They're all pretty small.
Yeah, what's going on?
Dragonair's 33 feet long.
Dragon
Why
Air.
What?
Digimon
Yeah.
are better.
It's an
Dratini's-
anaconda.
Yeah, Dratini's 6 feet long.
Wait, hold on.
Which is-
Dragonair
It's Dratini's
is
evolution.
33 feet long.
Yeah.
It's an anaconda.
Gyarados is like 27 feet long. I forget. It's just fatter.
33.
And
Yeah.
and apparently, what's it called? Wailord is so light that it floats.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like 44 feet long, but it's like 200 pounds.
So yeah,
That's hilarious.
Pokemon logic, everyone.
This
Indeed.
Is why
Wait,
Digimon
is a
works.
Rapidash just a horse then? Is that a horse size? Is that established?
Yeah, it's like average.
Probably.
Because people ride it. I want that to be okay.
I want that to
Actually,
be a thing.
Ash fit it pretty well, and he was really small, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's like
He's just a
10
kid,
years
so,
old.
yeah.
He's really short, actually.
Maybe they're, I don't know, either way.
But and another part I personally really like about this Pokemon Pikachu's Vacation bit is the Raichu Pikachu like death race thing.
Yeah.
They just destroy everything.
They
in their
don't.
path.
They hit a Hitmonchan, but Hitmonlee into the air like 30 feet. I was
They actually
impressed.
break through a stone wall at one point, which they could have totally used to help Charizard.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
just need to focus their rage.
But
yeah.
they did.
And they went up a waterfall too because
Yeah.
that's
How
how
do
that
you
works.
teach-
Teach the Pokemon waterfalls.
That
The
is-
Pikachu can do
yeah,
that.
that is not an HN.
Well, you can't ride Pikachu while he's doing that. He's too
Yeah.
busy being
Oh, please.
blood
You
raging.
can apparently ride, like, a Pidgey to use fly. So you can ride a Pikachu
Hey, you
at
know what?
Block.
I
When
rode
I
my
picture that
Farfetch'd.
though, I picture it like holding onto your backpack. I don't actually see like us riding on it.
Oh, I imagine holding his legs.
Have you seen the webcomic of that where like someone's trying to teach their Scyther fly and then he just looks up and there's someone riding a Pidgey. He's just going like, woo! Just
Yeah.
standing on this tiny little thing that
Yeah.
like barely has any room for his
No,
feet.
my favorite one is one of the new flying types in X and Y. It's called Halusha, so it's like a luchador bird.
Oh my god.
And so someone did a webcomic that when it uses fly, it just suplexes you
Yeah.
across the map.
I was about to ask if it did that. Oh my god, thank god it does. I was about to ask it to suplex you.
It made me really happy.
Oh, it's fine.
See, I choose Farfetch because he makes sense. You get 2 of those, wear them as boots. They're just big enough. You have flying booties.
Just big enough.
And that would really be their only use.
Other than eating.
Yeah.
Also being
They
awesome.
can learn cut.
Because Kenny loves Farfetch, even though
Farfetch
it's
is
the
the
most
best!
worthless Pokemon, apparently.
Way to put down one of my favorite
is not the
Pokemons,
most
Alex. Are you one of
worthless
those people who puts out what
Pokemon.
people like?
I mean, the most worthless one I think is like Paris.
Okay, well,
Oh,
it's
it can be
one of the
pretty-
worst.
Parasects can get kind of strong, especially with its FX Spore. It's
Yeah.
a special ability.
They're terrifying.
Okay, no, we're not getting that debate. 'Cause this debate's going to go on for a long
Good point.
time.
Not a debate. It's a
Poliwrath is the best.
Well, fun fact, Parasect is actually a giant parasite, and like the actual crab part of it is the real body. The mushroom is just sucking its life force away.
I
did
did
Pokemon
remember
do that.
that.
I did know that. The Pokédex told
Hey,
you
you know
that.
what's normal Poliwrath? You know what's cool Poliwrath? All right.
You do like Poliwrath. This is something I was thinking about. In all these Pikachu shorts, do they make it explicit, like not showing like Ash and Misty's face and stuff? Because I
Yeah,
noticed
normally
that
they
in this
don't.
one they don't.
Like ever.
Yeah.
Sometimes they show them like throwing them at the Pokeballs, but most of the time they don't.
Yeah, it's focused on Pikachu. You don't want to take that away with the other people.
I guess
Those
so.
are 10-year-olds mucking around.
Those
If
10-year-olds.
children see the face of Ash Ketchum, they'll be expecting Ash to be the main character.
I
Yeah,
suppose.
so they want to see some Pikachu action, so it's a great time.
So they just should make the very first scene Pikachu's face to make sure that kids understood that it was a show about Pikachu.
Yeah, I'm just glad the idea that they
No,
talk.
I think
Pokemon
kids
are
can read
competitive in
Pikachu.
nature, and then eventually Pokemon are just their best friends. So it's like they hate each other, but they also love. Once they know how to save a Charizard,
Basically.
and they did it. That's the best part. The part that I laughed a little too hard because I'm still a child at heart. Is when Meowth had the bomb and he sat on him and he blew up anyways. It just killed me for some reason. I loved it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Charizard with that like derpy face look.
Yeah, it blew up and he's like, all right, and then flew off.
It was
There's
great.
the cat up my butt.
Yeah, because like I remember when we did Pokemon 2000, like the fourth
boat that
one,
flies.
the Latios one. Like those Pikachu shorts were okay, but this one I actually quite like a lot because it's like actually does have some emotion in it. Like when Charizard's like crying there, and they can't get him
That
out.
got
It's
me
like,
later in life. I was like, oh no, he's despairing. No, Charizard, you're so prideful and strong.
Don't turn into
Why are
a
you
witch,
crying?
Charizard. No.
I think Charizard's a magical girl. He would never make a deal with some demon cat thing. He'd burn it before that would
Maybe
happen.
that's why he
like-
evolved
you
so
get-
fast, though.
You're not wrong.
No,
Actually.
it evolved fast because it was traded.
Good point. That is very true. And they didn't have the correct gym badges. But like one thing I remembered about this like whole Pikachu short is like Togepi and how much I love Togepi. Like throughout the
Yeah.
whole series, it's just the baby. Everyone takes care of it. It gets in little shenanigans. But like when I think it was Hoenn when Misty came back and there's this whole like Togepi island that they found and Togepi evolved into a Togetic and it had to leave Misty to go protect the island. I cried so hard. I taped the episode, but my favorite part was when Misty. The man who was like trying to control the Togepi is like, you can't fight my grass type, and it's actually a Shedinja, which is a bug ghost type, but that's not the point. And she's like, Gyarados, like, what's that gonna do? She's like, flamethrower, and it just obliterates it. And I was like, oh.
That's fantastic.
But I'm so happy I
awesome.
got to see Togepi again because it's so cute and I love it so much.
Yeah.
The worst part about losing Togepi is like almost immediately after that, Togepi got another evolution that made it actually worthwhile Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Togekiss is a boss.
That's one with
I
little
love
wings,
it.
right?
Yes.
It's the really cute one. I like a lot.
The one that flies around.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in this movie, Pikachu's just basically being the babysitter for Togepi, and Togepi is just like on that log, like not giving a crap, and Pikachu's just flipping out.
Until Raichu was a butt, he was the one on it. Everybody else was fighting. Pikachu's like, let's talk stuff. Like, screw that Raichu. And then fought it.
Yeah, because Raichu shocked him, and then like literally flames appeared behind
Yeah,
him.
he's
He's
like, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, and then they ran. It was great. But see, after all the little trials and tribulations, they're best friends.
exactly. So it ended on a happy note.
Because while Pokemon are naturally bloodthirsty and competitive, they also are naturally friendly and loving and stuff.
When you save a Charizard,
the same
specifically.
Yes, Charizard
Only
brings their
Charizard.
hearts together.
But Charizard does not have a heart.
Oh no, it's his fault. His tail's out the
Not
road.
until like the end of the series.
Well, we already established he doesn't have a soul because he's a magical girl. So
You're the
Everyone is
worst,
negative.
Alex. You just bestow magical girl status upon people. Or we can say like, what's his face? Spike from Cowboy Bebop's a magical girl now. Can we just do that?
no,
Yeah.
that's silly.
So Charizard's fine.
Well, it's because Clara mentioned earlier that Charizard gave
Bark,
him
bark,
despair. So that's what made me go to the witch
Well, he
thing.
didn't turn into a witch.
Zetsubo.
All right, and so then the second part of this movie is the origin of Mewtwo, with basically this backstory to the scientist that totally wasn't in the original movie that he had.
Necromancy.
That he had a daughter, and like she's just in a jar now.
Well, she died,
Her
and he captured.
soul.
His wife comes down and goes, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I captured her daughter's spirit in this jar. Let's bring
How
her
did
back
they
to
do
life
that? Like,
with
did they
magic." And
explain-
she was like, "What's wrong with you?"
Did they ever
So-
explain how he did that? Like how he got her
He
spirit
obviously
in a
told
jar?
Cthulhu, and Cthulhu's like, "Yeah, dog."
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's the
'cause this
same
is
thing
a
as killing
Digimon.
a Poe
This
in
was
Legend of
Digimon
Zelda
he could
Ocarina
have
of
actually
Time.
called Cthulhu.
You just
And I do like it in that it does like give credence to like what he says in the movie, like about how, I'm going to unlock the secrets to life, So it's like, okay, so that's why he was
I mean, there's a
doing
lot of
it.
stuff that's answered that we didn't get before. Like why a lot like Mewtwo does what he does, because he learns that little girl all these things, because her spirit comes into his dream world.
Yeah.
It also explains why he just has kind of a really unrealistic view of life. He
Yeah.
learned everything he knows from either a sociopath or a little girl.
But the 3 first clones he made were the final evolutions of Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle.
Yeah, I know, that's what I just thought.
Residual
Because
memories.
those were his friends.
They were his
Yeah.
BFFs.
Yes.
For like 5 or 10 minutes. That's the worst part, because they were his first friends.
And Charmander
Yep.
looked so sad. He's like, guys, what's happening? Why am I sparkling by? And they're like, no,
And
Charmander.
then it's our time to go, and he was like,
I will say,
"Charizard."
like baby Mewtwo is quite cute, like
was
his voice and
adorable.
everything.
Oh,
His little voice.
Yes.
Real cute. Real
And he was great.
What is sky? What is sun? What is dress?
Everything
Why
is
are you here?
Pokemon.
Pokemon is the answer to
Am I a
everything.
Pokemon? Am I a human? I'm like, you're adorable.
That's
Is what
for
you
you.
are.
Why does that matter?
That's adorable.
Yeah, you pat him on the face
Am
and
I
say you're
bad?
great.
Well, I mean, yeah.
You are now mine, and then you put him in a Pokeball, and then you take him out, and then you cuddle him.
That's why you put him in a Master Ball and take him with you.
And I did notice, actually, watching this movie, like paying attention to actually like the dialogue. There's actually some foreshadowing for the whole Pokemon Tears thing,
There
because
is.
Amber says something about how my daddy told me a story about how Pokemon Tears can bring life or something like that. Pokemon Tears are full of life.
I mean, still.
It's-
I'm glad they
it's silly.
explain it. I'm glad they explain it, but still, the way they flow. Can they just control where their tears go? Because Charizard, when he cried, they didn't go anywhere. He just cried.
But he was just crying, because he was sad.
So if you're crying for compassion.
They have entirely
Exactly.
separate tear ducts.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, this is the magical compassion tear ducts.
the Pokemon Tear ducts.
Okay.
And then there's one for rage. That one's mostly just fire.
No, I get it, yeah.
He cries tears of fire.
Yes.
I can see
That'd
it.
be awesome.
That would be cool.
Magnum tears.
Yeah. And I thought it was pretty sad there at the end when like Mewtwo's sitting there like in his little tube thing, and he's like says like life is wonderful, but why? Because apparently they erase his memories of like Amber, so he's
You
like,
know, we're going to have like, all right, his memories. And they calm down because he's about to break out after that happened because all of his friends just died.
yeah. Apparently they give him like 100 doses of steroids or something like that to
I
calm
don't
him
think
down.
steroids calm me down, Alex. I think there's
They're
something
like,
other than steroids.
shh, don't remember anything.
Depressants, fine.
Since they steroids, you would have busted out as like Hulk Hogan. Kill everyone.
Does it smell like chloroform to you?
Puts it inside container. Whoopsies. And then after that, the voice is outside.
Come here,
I
Mewtwo.
need
Don't
to be
forget
there.
to take your roofies.
Yeah. And then we move on to the actual movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Which, okay, I would like to point out that adding in that backstory from Mewtwo plus the backstory part with Giovanni that I assume we're about ready to talk about, that's awesome. It takes like 20 minutes before Ash even shows up in this movie. Like, that's like 20 minutes of movie time
Actually,
before
good.
even Ash, the main character, shows up. And even after that, it takes like another 5 minutes of battling before the like title screen shows
Well,
up.
see, that's the thing. It gives you 20
And I'm-
minutes of actual
I'm
good
like,
movie.
it's like half an hour of a movie before like the beginning starts.
And you don't have to worry about Ash being
Not even
Ash.
Lord of the Rings is like that.
It's great.
It's true, but I like it though because it actually like made Mewtwo cool. You
No,
know?
it made Mewtwo
Yeah,
a good
it really helped
villain,
Mewtwo.
but good lord, like not even Lord of the Rings is that bad about backstory.
well.
It had to do it. There's a lot of stuff they had to cover in like one movie.
They did. They had to cover a lot. Like,
And
this
they
is
cut out
just-
half of that.
They put most like Mewtwo's entire life story in like the first half hour of this movie.
See, you know what they could have done though?
Basically.
You know they cut it out for the 4Kids version because it was too, dark and stuff. They could have just said Mewtwo's backstory is sad. It made people cry. Moving right along. And we could have understood it was sad. But they didn't do that
Just
for us.
assume it's sad. And I do like that. I think like one of the first shots of that is like it's some shot of like rippling water and like the narrator's going on about something. Mewtwo's ass, like you hear his like whispers or something like "Who am I?" Like "What is life?" or something like that. Mewtwo's very philosophical throughout these movies. I noticed
where
he's
Grandma.
kind of like a little angsty. Like what is my purpose for being?
Well, I
sort of
mean, I would
thing.
ask that too if I was creative from, a cat that flew around.
Yes.
I mean, adorable.
What did we decide he was? A kangaroo
Kangaroo
rat?
rat.
Yeah,
Kangaroo rat.
I'm still in favor of kitten, but whatever.
Well, I mean,
Well, it's
it's
like a mix.
yeah,
It's a mix. Fine, I'll give you that.
a kangaroo
And
kitten.
the body shape is kangaroo rat.
Yeah.
Small front legs, large hind legs, long tail.
I
100% right.
buy him. I get it.
I think I remember we made a joke when Mewtwo's like in that tank and like the humans are all celebrating or whatever, and he's like getting like upset. He looks down at his fingers and he just has like the 3, finger things. He's like, I don't have opposable thumbs. What is with this?
But in his defense, who needs opposable thumbs when you have magic powers from your mind? At that point, you're like, everything's my opposable thumb. My mind is my opposable thumb.
Honestly,
Basically.
yeah.
and he just blows up everything.
I
would.
love everything. I would be mad.
You see, rule number 1 is we made the most powerful being on Earth. We're gonna celebrate in front of it and scream a lot. And he's like, no.
This hurts my brain.
Yeah.
We created the most powerful Pokemon, and we succeeded.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to make a very long recording and edit it and then put it in a machine.
Yeah.
The problem
Somehow he had the
is-
time to do all that.
See, the fundamental rule of creating things is don't make it powerful than you are, and if you do, make a way to shut it down. That's like, if any problem in any movie ever could have been like stopped by those two rules, honestly.
And it's something I suppose I didn't really think about until now, but like that's pretty dark, way to open up a Pokemon movie, like with Mewtwo killing literally dozens of
And
humans.
Nuki and Island. Like,
yeah.
they just
I'm
murdered
gone.
those
Giovanni
people.
Lane's like, good job.
He totally just like murdered all of those people.
Yeah, because like when he blows up Giovanni's Island, like you don't know how many people are there, but with the scientists, like like
Oh,
they're
you
there.
watch them die. Yeah.
You watch-
So,
yeah.
As a kid, I'm like, they'll be better. And then I'm an adult, I'm like, they're not better, are they, Steve? They're dead.
They're dead, Steve.
they're dead, Jim.
But I'm just glad Giovanni's foresight was, I could try to subjugate this really powerful thing. I messed up.
Yeah.
Because then he blew up his gym.
You are my servant, and I'm gonna be really dickish to you, because that won't cause any problems, because you don't have a past history of blowing up islands or anything.
At least
At first, though, he was like, yeah, no, we're going to be partners. Like, wow, Giovanni, that's actually really smart and, like, well-balanced of you to, like, not insult
Try to
the
take something
incredibly
over, yeah.
powerful being.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Who was
Well,
like
he
ready to
got-
murder him, by the way, at that exact moment.
Yeah, I mean, like, he probably thought that once he put the restraints on that he could control him, but no.
At least you got Mewtwo to beat Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that because, like, I do remember in the actual TV anime, like, they actually brought Mewtwo into it, while he was wearing, like, that armor stuff and you didn't really know who he was,
Which is really cool. They made the movie make sense when it was in the
Yeah,
show,
yeah.
so.
I love that.
I'm
that
pretty
they
sure
had.
the movie came before the actual part of the show, though.
Well, maybe it did. So maybe
I don't
that's
know.
why
but
they were able to make
I
that
love that they
continuity.
referenced the movie in the show and like
never
felt like it
happened.
had like a moment of continuity between these 2 and then it never happens again.
Yeah,
Yeah, never
in most
again.
anime, the villains of the movie will just be one-off villains that you never see again, and they'll never reference that happened.
We'll
in
never
the show.
speak
of
It's
this
never
again.
actual
We never
any
saw
game.
that.
Like, the only other 2 references is one in the Latios Latios movie, in the book in the, like, prison library, Annie and Oakley can see the guy from the 2000 movie. And then for the Celebi one, Sammy is Professor Oak.
Right.
So those are the only other 2.
Yeah, so they don't usually tie into the anime, like, at all.
Nop.
Nap. Okay. So, yeah, then basically Mewtwo flies off and is like, I will have my revenge,
And he does, I mean,
cut to Ash, and friends. And I really like that opening, like, Pokemon battle with that random trainer.
With
Nice-
Pirate Man.
Yeah, nice little bit of animation, although...
He's got 3 Pokemon like a weenie.
Yeah, and
did.
Pikachu
That's
killed
not
them
against
all,
rules.
though.
Even though
Even
one
though
was a
one of
ground
them,
type.
yeah, one of them was like a ground type. So
I mean, you're afraid that Pikachu's a god?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Well, he tried to challenge God in the Pokemon 2000 Pikachu short.
Yes,
like,
he
he
did.
literally shoots lightning
yeah, no,
at the
I saw
sky.
that. I saw that, yeah.
And also, I remember that Machamp is taken out by Squirtle's Bubble Beam
Bubble
in, like,
Beam?
one hit.
It wasn't Machoke, was it Machamp? I thought it was Machamp.
No, it was Machamp.
It was Machamp.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's got
fully
4
evolved.
arms.
So, like, yeah, Pokemon anime logic there again.
Whoa, I just realized Machoke's because he chokes you. Like Machop, Machoke. I just realized that. That's
Are you serious?
That's terrifying. Sorry, I was like,
Did you
Machoke,
just
that makes sense.
realize
I have a lot of revelations when I was a kid now. That's really weird. Okay.
Wow.
No, that's not why.
Sorry, I
we
choked up.
developed the words because we kept being choked by Machoke.
Because it's
And
terrifying.
chopped by
Machamp's because
Machoke.
he choked you to death and won that medal. So he was like, yeah.
You know, my favorite thing I've seen so far is the Pokemon sprite fusions. Someone did Chansey and Machoke, so it's Chan Choke. So it's all pink and cute and has a Chansey
yeah.
face, but it's like choking you.
Does it have the smiley face? It's pink.
Oh, yeah,
that
it's
one terrified me.
adorable.
So does
That's
that have 4 arms then?
No,
Nah, man.
No, man.
What's
no,
it say?
it's Machoke. So
Okay.
Chan
Squad.
Choke.
The Oddish Squad was my favorite.
The Odd Squad, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oddish's face on everything.
And apparently Mewtwo just has like an army of Pokemon like for his menial tasks. He has a Fearow with a camera on its neck, and then Dragonite is his like mail deliverer. you
Which
know.
they never show up again.
But he was
Yeah.
adorable.
Maybe
It
they
was.
were Nurse
I love-
Joy's Pokemon.
Dragonite's one of my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon. I think
it's
he's
real cute.
awesome.
I mean, can we be honest? Like, Jeremy did have a good point. I realize this. Like, Team Rocket's got some incredible strength. They stopped a Dragonite from flying.
yes, with a frying pan.
Well, it's because they are super strong.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I wonder if that's the same frying pan that Brock references in the other one. The frying pan into a
Drawing
drawing pan.
That's the best line of all Pokemon. I don't care what y'all say. That is the best part. Like, the way he executes it, you can see in his face. He loves it. Brock's like, oh, yeah. I made that line.
Just in his eyes that you can't see, but you know they're
You can
full
see
of
it, his
happiness.
smile. He's a pun man. He goes after my heart.
And I also like how Dragon Knight's invitation has like this really advanced hologram thing, and then a paper that says yes or no.
This is a checker.
Yeah. Just, that's why I
The thing
love
is
it.
that the little hologram thing looks like the Pokedex from the new game, the Kalos region Pokedex.
It does.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, hi there.
Technology came from somewhere.
Yeah, the hologram thing. It looks like that. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
the new Pokedex is actually super ancient technology, apparently.
Hey, whoa, calm down.
Yeah,
Sorry.
geez, car.
They got excited when he said the technology stuff. They're like, no.
Okay, and then we cut to like the city place. Mewtwo's causing the storm to happen, which apparently his psychic powers just literally allow him to do anything.
He's destroying the world with that storm. He says it. He's like, my storm will destroy the world. Evil laugh.
Exactly.
Is that his evil laugh?
That's what it is. Yeah, I practiced.
I am Mewtwo.
That's it. So you're close.
exactly that.
So yeah,
Okay.
he did that.
One more time?
I am Mewtwo.
Mewtwo.
I couldn't do it.
Is he a cow now?
No, he's Mewtwo. It's Miltank and Mewtwo.
See, no, now I kind of want to kill that.
All right, moving on.
Can you point out how brilliant that exposition woman was, though? The one with the weird accent we couldn't
Oh,
play.
yeah.
She was just spewing exposition. It was great.
With her accent that is completely
She was
undefinable.
like, the Pokemon are going to the island for exposition reasons. It's like, that's what it was.
Is everyone in this movie just making this
Makes
noise?
it better, okay? She was my favorite part of that island, or that place. She was great.
Oh god.
And then everyone's like, well, I don't care about storms. I'm just going to swim out. And apparently
Because-
all but 2-3 people drown.
Yeah, I
They
know.
just
She was
die.
like, what happened to the other traders?
But also, everyone, we know surf. Go surf.
To be fair, we only saw like those 3 leave, so we don't know if the other 20 trainers.
Yeah, I'm
did.
assuming most of them were like, we're going to die. Because they were like, we're rooting for the others. The others didn't make it, unfortunately.
Well,
I think
one of them
some.
was like, one of them's a breeder, the other one's an ace trainer, and one of them I don't actually know
The
what to
ace trainer,
classify
though.
them as. The ace trainer actually had a very solid team. The all water guy with one Nidoqueen queen. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
he's
He,
like, my water. Nidoqueen.
well,
They're
she
like,
can learn surf,
Queen's a
so
water type, but it's blue, so shut up.
yeah. And then the other guy had just a team. Oh, no, she did, excuse me. The
And
one
it was
lady.
kind of a bad team,
It was
even
a
by
team,
Gen
yeah.
1
It was
standards.
a team.
Dugong, some other
It
things.
was Ninetales, Rapidash, Wigglytuff,
Didn't Dugong do that?
Blastoise, Dugong, and one
Yeah,
more.
she's double layering on a lot
I
of
will
them.
say her nickname for Shell Shocker, that's what she calls her Blastoise.
Shell Shock, yeah.
That's cool. I
I
like
like that. It made
He
sense.
is.
It was cute.
Yeah. One thing I love is that Officer Jenny, when they're in that the place where the storm is going on, she says this is the worst storm ever. That's
Yeah,
a direct
in
quote.
history.
And it's not like the worst storm in the decade or the worst storm in the region. It's the worst storm ever.
Well, I mean, in their
Just-
defense, it is. It's a psychic storm destroying the world. Like,
It was.
planet.
It was supposed to destroy the world, even though it clearly didn't look like it was destroying thing. Also, next movie, better, worse storm.
It built up sharks. It was having a Sharknado building up.
Oh, no.
So don't worry.
Oh, no.
Sharpedos, so many Sharpedos.
Oh my god,
Sharknado. Oh my god, that would be
People would
terrifying.
die. Imagine Gyarados actually flying.
Could somebody make an
don't
animation of this?
I have my flying type now.
Yeah, how
yeah,
did he get his Mega Evolution?
Gyarados, use Twister.
Yeah, it is a move. It's a really, really bad move, but it's a move.
Yeah, and then
a move.
and this is also where they bring in the tears thing again, because that blue-haired
Right.
harbor master lady is talking about how there was a legend of some sort of a prophecy and a legend of a terrible storm.
Always a legend.
And it's weird. She says the terrible storm basically destroyed and killed everything except for a few Pokemon, but then they cried tears and brought everyone back to life.
Tears stop storms.
And then the
So-
world turned to ash.
And it makes
Yep,
it makes it sound like it's the story of Noah, the world was flooded, all for except a few Pokemon, but then they cried a couple tears, and then all of humanity came back.
Yeah,
It's
the
just
water
real life.
types are just cackling. Like, oh.
If you cry enough, you get what you want. That's what the Pokemon tells you. That's what this movie tells you.
Of
I
course.
also like that the harbor master's justification for just shutting down town was just, yeah, there's a legend, and it says things.
Hey, dude, if there's magical Pokemon around my world, I believe in legends. There's
Literally
proof of
every time
Pokemon
there's a
gods.
storm. No. Every time there's a storm, she tells them that's legend, and she thinks that this is the storm.
This is
and
the
she
one, I
shuts
swear.
down
The
harbor,
one time
like,
she's
no,
finally right. This legend is
not
real
going to
this
happen.
time. And they're like, okay.
Miss, it's already stopped raining. Can we go outside now? No.
But they abducted the woman
No,
who's
no,
definitely
listen,
not.
my whole story.
One thing I really like though is that they didn't beat around the bush. Brock immediately knew who Nurse Joy was. He's like, "You're the woman who disappeared. That Nurse Joy that I think is really attractive. Thanks."
She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm definitely not a sleeper agent.
And then she was.
My eyes aren't soulless or anything.
They were
Wink,
just
wink.
devoid of color, Alex. It's fine.
Okay.
Have you ever been mind wiped before?
Mind Crush,
Yeah.
perhaps?
Mind Crush.
Sent to the Shadow Realm.
Exactly. And then we also have Team Rocket as Vikings, because that's a thing.
Yeah, we are.
Stroke.
I'm going to
I'm
have
gonna
a
have
stroke.
strokes. Everything they yelled about. What was the other one? They're like, I hope it gets to be any longer next movie or something like that. It
That
was like
in
Pokemon 2000.
Pokemon
yeah.
2000. They also had a Weight Watchers
Yeah, that was the
joke.
best one. Though. They said that, I lost it. I was like, why?
Yeah, and of course
Oh.
Meowth is like the thing on the front of the boat, like
mate.
the woman.
Yeah.
I just like how their like perception rolls are negative. They see Meowth clearly on the front. They can tell it's them. They're like, they're Vikings. Vikings are real. Like at one point, I think Brock
They
said,
must be
I
from
thought Vikings
Minnesota.
died out years ago or something. They
Yes.
said that. And
The,
they kept
the
going.
reference to Minnesota has like spurred so much fan speculation about like the state of the world in Pokemon, and like there's clearly a Minnesota, so that means there's the U.S. right, and then there's a Japan, and then like how far does this go?
The U.S. Pokemon.
Well, I mean, Lieutenant Surge is Lightning American.
He
they
is American.
specifically say that.
you're right.
true.
So I mean, I'm surprised. Wasn't he like a bald eagle Pokemon with Levi jeans?
He's wearing Levi jeans.
Yeah, America, right? That's what it is.
America.
Yeah,
Sponsored
no.
by Levi's.
So you get to the place and you find that everyone's got Pokemon.
Basically, and Mewtwo comes down as like, I am the best trainer in the world, and they're like, what?
be a trainer.
You're a
You're a
Pokemon. You can't be a trainer.
Okay,
Racist.
after Mewtwo blasts Gyarados to the other side of the room, you think they would just give up?
Yeah,
it's
no.
like, that's threatening. Let's try to charge it without Pokemon.
Leave.
Yeah, I mean, eventually later on we'll talk about it later. But Ash tries to punch him.
Yeah.
So hard.
He tries to punch something in every one of these movies.
Yeah.
We discussed this already.
He's just
always
a
tries
violent
to
kid.
punch
Like,
the
what
thing.
is? He's got pent up emotions.
Yeah, Jeremy brought that up, like that he throws himself at a barrier or at a shield, like in every Pokemon movie, and he does it here too against the world's most powerful Pokemon. Like, you're totally gonna punch him, Ash.
And it's not
Believe in
because of like
yourself.
bravery or like any of those things. It's because of stupidity. Let's be honest.
I mean,
he's
he's
just too
Ash,
stupid
so-
to like comprehend that like.
A little bit.
If he had
Also,
Muck, I
that's
20 bucks.
racist that Mewtwo can't be the best trainer in the world. Like,
Racist.
I'm
but you're a
saying,
Pokemon. Like,
if Ash had
racist.
Muck, he might have been able to beat Mewtwo. I'm just saying.
Psychic's good against poison.
What if he stuck attack and then
Oh
threw
my
it
god,
on?
that would have been the one Muck loss.
How about this? Muck could have beaten Charizard.
Yeah.
Hey!
If you just hadn't gotten
Hey,
rid of that
Charizard
Muck.
versus Charizard. Nah, man, Muck. See, why did they make it
Muck
make
physical
sense?
or special defense? Is Muck physical or special defense?
I want to say physical.
I think it's more of a tank, yeah, physical.
Yeah. So actually, wouldn't end up doing that all against the Charizard.
All I'm saying is, I know it made sense, like, fight the, when they get to the duel, the whole, like, we're going to fight because of clones. Why did they say, no, let's make this make sense? All right, now, Blastoise, you fight, Charizard. Make things make sense.
Well, but then they would obviously win because they had the advantage.
Well,
the point was to
yeah.
prove
Also,
the clones are
Yeah, well, no,
better.
see, the way to prove a
Well,
clone's truly better
we'll
is
get to
beating
that
its
part.
weakness. Or beating
Hold
its,
on.
yeah, weakness.
We have
and
to get
wins.
to that part because there's like a rant somewhere in there about how like stupid that part is, but we'll get to that. Anyway, where are we in the
First,
movie?
we have does Ash start running up the stairless staircase yet?
Oh, no, that's a
after
little
all this.
later.
No, that's what the eyeball.
I mean, pretty much the next
Pokeballs.
part was the clone part.
Yeah.
See, like, the problem with Mewtwo, though,
and
is,
Team
like,
Rocket.
even, like, if all the Pokemon ganged up on it right now, technically, psychic types, like, no one in that room could have actually taken on a psychic type effectively, because the one weakness it had in the first gen was Ghost. And every Ghost type was half poison. So it was still super effective against all the ghosts that could defeat it. So psychic types were stupidly OP in the first gen, which is why Sabrina was such a difficult trainer to fight.
Yeah.
So Mewtwo was just automatically just going to kick everyone's butts.
That's one thing I'm proud of myself in.
Mischievous.
My greatest moment, because I played Red version, right? And I beat it. And I actually got
love
Mewtwo.
Mischievous.
And using just Mewtwo, level 72, without healing him once, because I didn't know you could heal in that game, I beat all the Elite Four with just Mewtwo. Like, I killed all their Pokemon. He barely took any damage. Psychic was insta-kill on every single Pokemon.
Yeah, I've heard that Mewtwo is just really OP.
Yeah, how did I catch him? I'm thinking, like, now I don't know how I did it. Oh, yeah, my Venusaur was awesome. That's why.
Of course.
So,
Also, in the anime, psychic types were always kind of like really powerful.
Yeah.
oh, yeah. Some
Like-
people had psychic powers.
Like they had like
Yeah.
those like laser beams and like force
Oh, that's weird.
fields, and they could talk and be sentient, and which makes the whole enslaving them to fight thing kind of weird. But
Yeah, having an Alakazam just seems kind of, I love Alakazam. He's
I
weird.
love Ghost.
That's right. When Mewtwo fought against Alakazam earlier in the movie, he bent his spoons.
Yeah, and then he
not
flew
the
backwards.
spoons. Not the spoons. No.
Doesn't
Not
say
like
he's still
draw buttons.
like in the games. Though, like, he's still one of the most powerful Pokemon in game.
Oh, yeah.
Mewtwo.
No, Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's
Especially when
top
he goes
tier.
super.
Yeah.
He's banned.
And
Oh yeah.
I love how Team Rocket's trying to sneak into this place, and the whole time Mew is just basically trolling them by like going behind them, and they'll look around, and Mew just runs away.
He's
Mew's
to
so-
everyone.
Because Mew's just like, I just think like Mew's just there to have fun. Like he's on the little like windmill thing, just falling down. It didn't even seem like he was aware of what was going on half the time.
If he knew what was going on, he's like, it's their problem. It's not
The
my
first
problem.
time Mewtwo started talking to him, he just stopped paying attention after like 2 seconds.
And
like,
started chasing his tail. Yeah.
Tail?
Yeah.
Tail?
It's like, my rival, you have shown yourself at last. I will assert my dominance. Tail.
And then he
Tail.
shoots him
Mew just,
and then
Mew
launches
just
it
like
back.
did not know what was going
See,
on.
Mew
the whole
is
time,
stupidly
like,
competent when he wants to be.
When he wants to
okay.
be.
Like,
Because at first Mew was just running away, then Mewtwo hit him, and then he like threw his Shadow Ball back. It's like, it's on.
And nailed him. He's like, oh, you're a worthy adversary. And he's like,
Mew.
Tail.
But still, back to that whole thing with the clones, because that was the next part of the story.
Right.
Yes, see, the way to assert your dominance as a better clone is don't kill the same one. You have to be better than your weakness. Then you're truly superior. If you beat the same one, whatever. Like, that doesn't really matter at all.
I guess, but it would have been hard for them to win.
But if they did, then they're
Elemental
clearly
typing.
better.
I suppose, yeah. But I don't know. The Charizard versus Charizard fight was cool, though I think it's telling.
brutal.
It's telling that Ash tells his Charizard like focus on speed, not power, and you'll win. And then his Charizard just goes and like does Fire Blast over and over, and the other Charizard is like being really fast and like hitting him a bunch of times.
Has
So-
Charizard ever listened, though?
I guess,
Eventually.
but if he had, he might have won.
Yeah, but
you
the thing
know?
is he didn't. So,
See,
and then he got
this
seismic
movie
tossed.
is just a big advertisement for EV training your Pokemon. Because
It
if you
is.
don't, then they'll suck.
Exactly. See, it means that people like us, who, breed Pokemon and then abandon the weak, are truly the superior trainers.
We are superior.
I
No
keep all my
mercy.
Pokemon, lock them in a box,
Yeah.
and then never look at them again.
Go to the computer.
these are monsters, by the way. But just so that you know.
Hey, put your computer in like digital pockets forever is kind of bad too.
Yeah. And it's around then that like Mewtwo's like, I'm going to take all your Pokemon, and I will clone them, and then we
Why
will.
would the Pokeballs kill me?
You mean like we're
when Ash's like, I'll save Squirtle and Bulbasaur. Nope.
Other Pokeballs eat the Pokeballs and just fly away. It's like, you
Because
bitch.
that was a good plan. Have infinite Pokeballs.
Yeah, because I like that idea of just like it's like one of those like little doll things where like you open it up and there's
Yeah, the
just
Russian
smaller
doll
ones
sets.
inside.
Yeah.
Just Pokeballs within Pokeballs.
Because, I mean, he had a good plan. Mewtwo is a really effective villain. He did what he said he'd do. Beat them with those Pokemon, then caught their nice things. And got all of them.
Yeah.
Even Pikachu.
Yeah, well, and Pikachu put up a good fight because he was running up like a yellow slide
So
thing
was
and like
Ash.
shocking like a bunch of them.
Of all those, yeah.
He
Those
ran out of
badass-looking
PP.
Pokeballs.
Yeah,
I
he
want
did.
one of those things.
Yeah.
That looks
He's
awesome.
using, what, Thundershock too much?
Basically.
Ran out of
And of course, when Pikachu like falls off and like gets captured,
And Ash jumps after
Ash
him.
jumps out, not caring about how deep that water might be or whatever.
Ash is
Which is like 3 feet.
Yep.
He should have died from that, but yeah.
And
Whatever.
then they cry on him. Now he's dead, man.
No,
Dead Jim.
sorry, no Pokemon tears this time. Sorry.
But either way, yeah, he gets caught, and then Ash breaks the machine with his like young preteen race.
I know.
He goes in there and just breaks
that machine is made of paper mache.
Yeah,
Like
it was
seriously.
clearly metal parts, and Ash was like, and came out, and Team Rocket's like, what?
Exactly, because it just has like a bunch of arms grab him. He just runs. The arms break, and then the whole machine explodes.
He went Super Saiyan. It worked.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, man.
I see.
That's for the end. Don't worry.
Oh
But it's
boy.
impressive. The fact that Team Rocket the whole time was just dilly dallying, they never really did anything bad. They were just there.
And I thought this was interesting. So you know how the machine is showing like the images of the Pokemon, and they're like, "Who's that Pokemon?"
They keep getting
And-
them
They
wrong.
messed up.
Yeah, Sand Slash instead
Yeah.
of yeah.
Well, they
True.
called
Sand-
Scyther Alakazam.
Wrong.
I know what.
Wrong.
And,
Wrong.
and apparently, this is something I found on the Wikipedia page. 4Kids said that they decided to leave the Alakazam error in when they noticed it as something for the children watching to notice, and because they felt it was plausible in context that Team Rocket could make a mistake. So
In other words, they didn't want to pay for another recording session.
that's
Yeah.
probably it, but that one's just like totally off.
And then they did say it was they Sand Slash
Maybe
and
if it was
Sand
like a Kadabra, I
Yeah.
could forgive that.
But
But no.
Alakazam.
Yeah.
Scyther, not even the same type, not even like the same build.
Yeah, and Pidgeot was called Pidgeotto.
Yeah, the trainer said that, the ace trainer, and I was like, well, you're an ace trainer.
Way to be, guys.
Obviously not.
Yeah. And so he blows up the machine, and there's kind of a cool moment where the
there's like that smoke building out of that hole, and Ash is like, I won't let you do this, Mewtwo. And he walks out of the smoke, looking all badass and all
You
like the
can't
Pokemon.
do this, Mewtwo.
all-
I won't let you because I'm competent. So
And have
Except
all your
I'm not.
Pokemon under my control. And then he tries to punch him. Instead of fighting, he's like, I'm going to punch you.
I'm gonna punch
And he
you.
gets launched like 80 feet.
Yeah.
And then Ash died for the first
Well,
third
third
time.
18th time? I think
Yeah.
he's had 9 lives and gone through 12.
Yeah. Well, it's
So-
the whole theory that he died in the first episode.
I mean,
or when
He's in a
coma.
coma.
Yeah.
Well, still, and then what Mew catches him in the magic, beanbag of safety.
Yeah, which I love because like he catches him with the ball and he's like bouncing around, and then Mew pops it and Ash like falls like 5 feet, hits his ass like it
And then
hurts.
leave him up there.
And Mew's just like laughs at him.
Mew did save his life, then left him up there. He's like, hey, you got this far, now get down yourself.
basically.
He does.
Mew was actually like really cunning and just planning everything from the beginning. It knew it was gonna happen.
He let them
Is
clone
Mew
him.
imagining,
everything.
or can you see the future? That'd be cool.
Maybe.
It has it would be able to learn the attack
Future sight,
feature
yeah.
sight.
Future sight.
There you go.
Because, in the games, Mew was less powerful than Mewtwo, right?
Well, yeah.
Mew was not.
Mew
like,
has
in-
100 base stats and everything,
Yeah, it's real
and it
strong.
can learn every attack. That's not super great when you're talking about legendary
Yeah,
Pokemon.
'cause my friend
if
caught
you're
him at,
talking
like-
about anything else,
Because I know in yellow version there was a legitimate way to actually catch it. Every other game after that was just hack.
Yeah, my friend did that. He did think behind like this truck. There's this weird way you're supposed to do it, and he caught it every time in yellow version.
Yeah,
And
like
leveled
you had
it
to go
up.
down this bridge.
Yeah, yeah,
right
it's the bridge
outside
thing.
Cerulean.
He did
It was like
either
a
way.
2% chance of running into it, and you had to like keep flying back and going up the bridge.
It was
Yes,
impressive.
I never did it.
experience?
No, I've seen
Oh.
videos of it because I was like, this isn't real, and so I watched a video of it, and I was like, well, that's dumb.
And I remember, Ash starts climbing down like that stone thing, and there was one shot in particular where like he falls like 10 feet, and like just his legs
Oh, yeah,
just
and hits his
collapse.
legs. No, when he gets down to everyone else,
He jumps
instead
off
of
the-
asking for like Brock to help him, he's like. And everyone was like, Ash, you okay? After watching him get launched. Like, are you okay now? You dropped and broke your legs?
Misty and Brock did literally nothing this whole time.
They really did. They
really
really
did.
stood there and commented on like things that were happening. They didn't like
Ash
contribute.
fell.
Guys, this is
Did
so
they even use
bad.
their
Someone
Pokemon?
should help. No.
That's
you
a good
know
point.
these Pokemon fighting is so terrible,
I'm
and I
gonna watch
feel
them fight
so
again.
awful watching them fight.
Oh,
It's
no,
so
no,
bad
we're at
making
that point yet
Pokemon
because
fight.
there's like a big thing to talk about.
Well,
there.
like Nurse
yeah.
Joy said, not like this.
I guess we are at that point now.
Brock's
when the
Onyx
clones.
never came back out. Misty's Staryu never came back out. None of Brock's Pokemon, minus Vulpix, were actually like captured.
That's
Psyduck
'cause
was-
Vulpix
There,
cute.
there were 2 Onyxes fighting though,
Oh, there
weren't
was
there?
an Onyx.
Yeah. So I think he did.
There wasn't
it
a
was at least that
Geodude.
out.
There
Imagine
wasn't.
cloning that Onyx, jeez.
Who knows?
How did I get out of that tube thing?
Yeah, I assume there are bigger tubes than the ones we saw because like Onyx never
Or
would have fit in one of
stretched or
those.
something.
Now imagine if 2 Snorlaxes got cloned, and for the plot they need to be huge, so they just have humongous Snorlaxes fighting.
Yeah, because we made the joke that Snorlax is like Gamagori. They're as big as the sea needs them to be.
Yeah, honestly, they are.
Because the first time they see him, he's gargantuan. And the second time, it's like, he's bigger than the trees. And then they're like, nah, man, he's normal.
Nah, man.
Depends on how. Maybe he's just like how much he eats. He expands
I can believe it.
in proportion.
Yeah, but talking about like the whole theme of this movie, which is an interesting issue. This is a 4 kids thing. Apparently, the English version was heavily edited from the original Japanese, along with various content edits. Mewtwo was changed from a morally confused character into a more straightforward villain, so the children would be able to identify it as the villain more easily. Furthermore, the moral message of the movie was changed from "all life is equal" to "fighting is wrong," which is so contradictory given what Pokemon is all about.
So in Japanese,
All life is equal.
All life is equal.
So
So,
Japanese,
the
it makes
clones
sense.
aren't. So that whole thing about the clones are better than the
No, it's
original
just we're all the
thing.
same.
Like,
Deal with it.
They're all equals. Was the original message, but this whole thing is this is awful. The Pokemon are fighting each other. Wait.
10 seasons
What
later.
is literally this? Why are you? This is wrong. Just this moment. This is like in 2000 when that guy was capturing the legendary birds, and he's like, "That's wrong. How could you capture the birds?" I'm like,
I did it.
"Well, we all capture the
The whole thing
birds,
is he's
right?"
capturing them, keeping them for his own, collection kind of
Yeah.
thing.
What,
Not
Like,
using them.
But that's what you guys do. Like, how often do you use the birds? Or do you just put them in the box and like, I
no,
have
I
the
use
birds.
them like crazy.
Pokedex.
Yeah, well, and he was putting them in electric cages, not Pokeballs, because they're a
So?
collection.
At least the cages had more space than a Pokeball.
We don't know that. Pokeballs probably have like lots of space.
You're atomized, so I mean, it doesn't even matter. You're just data.
It is it's weird. There's like
Racist.
theories on that, but
No one knows what's inside a Pokeball.
Oh yes.
there's
No one
theories and there
knows.
are robot chicken sketches on it, and they have very contradicting.
Although
points.
there is a part where like the 2 Meowths, our Meowth and the clone Meowth are like talking, and like I think he's translating what Mew is saying, and he's saying something about like maybe if we focused on what made us similar instead of what made us different, that we wouldn't fight or things would be better or something like that. So there's still some of that like all life is equal message, but yeah, the whole like Pokemon were meant to fight, not like this. That's all.
What does it matter?
I feel
That
the point
is a
is
softer
that
core version of how I train Pokemon.
I think the whole point is that Pokemon are supposed to battle alongside trainers in like strict rules with certain regulations of what you can and can't do, and you're supposed to grow together and fight gyms to prove that you can actually accomplish these tasks with your partners, not just to mindlessly bash buttons and hit people.
Right,
That's what we do.
because apparently another one of Mewtwo's psychic abilities is that he can block all of the Pokemon's special abilities, so they just have to physically attack each
So
other.
pretty much it's like he just depleted all their power points. He just
Yeah,
used
there
a
are
bunch of
moves that can do that.
grudge and spite.
I
Which
guess
is the
so.
worst. It's like blocking this move, and I was like,
Struggle.
Disable.
yeah, disable. That's it.
Well, that's why they all
You're the
passed out.
worst.
Because they all use struggle. They just knock themselves out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will admit though, like when it starts playing that "Brother, My Brother" song,
We don't
like
talk about that.
it's cheesy as hell. But as a kid, it
No,
got
man,
me.
it hits you.
No,
It hits you hard.
it still hit me in the feels a little bit while I was also just like, wait, I do this.
Well, see, I'm glad
You
at
do
least
worse than this.
Ash
I do.
made the ultimate sacrifice to save everyone.
Yes.
To end the fighting.
Of
And I
course.
by cremating himself in a
And he was
large
fine.
tomb.
2 seconds later, don't worry.
Also, he is fine. Like literally 2 minutes later, when they start crying, and Mew, by the way, I love that shot because all the tears and Mew's just looking around like, what the hell is going on? Mew's like, I don't even know.
Yeah, Mew's like sort of the hero of the movie, but he doesn't cry for Ash.
No, man.
He's like, what the hell is
tripping
this?
You
balls
can't
at
give
that
up
point in time.
tears after seeing what's happened. He's like, no, this is horrifying.
Gods cannot cry.
And Mewtwo's like, huh. And he's like, oh, wait, maybe you're right.
You're right. Aw. Yeah, because like,
Tail?
because I don't remember specifically like my feelings as a kid. I don't think I ever cried at that scene, but I definitely got some
yeah, I cried.
emotions.
I cried.
Feels
I won't lie to you. Yeah, I cried.
feels were had. I can't remember.
I was
if
like,
cried.
no, Ash is dead.
Yeah, because to be fair, like I agree with you, Claire. Like he comes back like really quickly, but that's something a lot of movies do. Like when they fake like that the protagonist is dead, because that's honestly one of my like movie cliches. That's one I really hate because like 99% of the time, they're not dead.
Well, I mean, like, even later in movies, like with the Celebi movie, there was enough time in it. Like, Ash was trying to feed him the berries, and
Yeah,
they
that
put him in
actually
the
had a lot
water.
of time.
See, that had a lot of time to make you feel hopeless. It's like, oh, it's actually gone.
Wait, what was gone?
Celebi.
Oh.
But then Suicune's like, I'm gonna heal the water, guys, so it's okay. But it's just that time. It was literally Ash turns to stone, Pikachu tries a little bit, and then everyone cries, and it's better.
He's only saying because he's shocked him like 5
Yeah, that's the
Like,
part
that's-
that hurts the
yeah.
most, honestly.
Wake up.
With
Yeah,
Pikachu
but
shocking
shocking
him,
is
and
gonna
then
say-
because when Pikachu starts crying, that's where it's like the tear ducts.
Yeah, man.
They're
But it's just
opening
the
up.
fact that, like, it just started so quickly. Like, all of them were crying. It wasn't even like, hey, guys, you all right over there? No, it was just instantly everyone had the same emotion as
Yeah.
Pikachu. All these strange Pokemon who have never seen this boy before are now crying.
Yes.
It's because Pikachu has the mind control thing going on. He's the real psionic here. He's like, cry with me, children.
Cry for my master.
That Venusaur clone kicked me in the balls and it really hurts.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention it, but the another part that always made me sad as a kid is where you have the Pikachu v Pikachu, and the other one is slapping him.
He's like, fight me back. He's like, I will not fight you, brother.
yes,
The slaps.
I'll not fight you. He's like Luke from Episode 6. He's like throws away his lightsaber. Like,
Come on, man. We can bring in a. Oh, should we get an Evangelion reference here too?
no,
We deserve one. It's like the part where Unit 4 is fighting Unit 1 and completely destroys it.
I see.
It's great. He eats it.
Cool.
Oh no, reverse that. Unit 1 eats it.
Because I've seen a gif of that online a lot, like the slapping Pikachu
Yeah.
gif.
There was one for Captain America recently.
Oh my god. Yes, the
I
Winter Soldier.
snickered. I snickered.
It makes sense.
And I think it's telling, like you said, that like they show like all of the Pokemon crying, like when Ash is like frozen as stone, but they don't really show Misty or Brock at all, the people you'd expect to be like
no, I
traumatized
figured they
by
would be the ones
this.
going, no, wait, no, this can't happen.
No, I think they realized like Ash will be fine, guys. He's still the protagonist of the show.
He has plot armor.
Because Team Rocket breaks the fourth wall enough. They probably spoiled it for everyone else. He's probably gonna be fine. Our budget will cover it.
It's just, I don't know. I love the Pokemon movies, but at the same time, anyone who's not Ash doesn't get nearly enough time to do anything. Like, they're either worthless, they do nothing, or the movie sort of kind of centralized around them. Like, the movie with the Pokemon Ranger, it actually focuses a lot more on May than it does Ash, because Manaphy was the one that chose May and hatched the egg and, like, called her mama. And that was what I really liked, because May was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, and the Jirachi one, Max, was
Yeah,
the
and it was
one
Max.
that dealt with Jirachi mostly.
But, like, the earlier ones, it's just Ash and everyone else is useless.
Yeah, and
Ash
Ash
and
is
some
also
friends.
just incredibly stupid.
And both of his companions are gym leaders. They are very competent.
Supposedly.
Well, supposedly, like in the actual comic, it's a lot more difficult. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah. So, Ash gets brought back to life, and Mewtwo's like, I have seen the light, we must not fight, and I'm going to fly with my clone Pokemon
Into the night.
to go off to, and as it turns out later, they basically go to an island to, live.
Okay, a little bit about that island. Okay, I read the books over vacation one year when I was, 4th grade. And in the book, it had baby Nidoqueen.
Oh, yeah, I
How?
remember this.
Nidorina, or it doesn't become a Nidorina until level 18, and by that time it's already grown up enough. And Nidoqueens can only evolve with Moonstones. Unless they got Moonstones just lying around the island, there's no way there can be possibly have baby Nidoqueens.
Maybe the Islands of the Moonstone.
Maybe it's a queen thing. A clone thing.
Pokemon Company,
even know,
Claire's calling you out.
Oh, it drives me crazy. Or they're like, oh, look, baby final evolutions. I'm like, no. Baby Pokemon are the first evolution. Or the pre-evolutions. Like Pichu or Igglybuff or Smoochum or Wynot or Tyrogue or any of the other ones. Oh, it makes me so mad.
But it's cute when it's
There we go.
evolved.
No, it's like, look, guys. No, a baby Kangaskhan. That doesn't make any... Well, I mean, the baby Kangaskhan makes sense, but...
Actual
Big
Kangaskhan.
baby Kang... It does... Oh, I could drive me
What about
crazy.
the Mega Evolution
I
one?
do know that.
Right. Oh, my God. Drove me
You know
nuts.
what?
Because the Team Rocket
That
one.
one. Oh,
It's
okay.
like, look, we've got this baby Nidoqueen. I was like, what?
Excuse me.
It tried.
I call hacks. I'm sorry, guys. You've got a Game Shark.
Game
Did
Shark.
you guys ever read the original, there was a book called, the Electric Pikachu Boogaloo or something?
Yeah, Electric Pikachu Boogaloo.
Yeah, Boogaloo, that was it. Okay, did you guys ever read that? Because my friend Christoph and I
maybe.
back at home mentioned it a few times. Oh my God, to this day. So I took a picture. It scares the living daylights out of me. Because me and my friend, the first 3 pages talked about how the Clefairies, Clefairies came down, aliens, did all that stuff, Pokemon, whatever, the backstory. Whoa! There's a picture of a Clefairy coming down. Its eyes are blacked out, so its mouth is floating. And me and Christoph, he's like, "You want to read this Pokemon book?" I was like, "I love Pokemon." I opened it and I threw it across the room. And this thing refused to look at it. Recently, we reopened it, and I still screamed. It's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
I want to see this now.
I'll show you.
Okay.
I don't have it. I'll try to look it up either way.
All right.
Christoph, a picture.
But
It's not okay.
So Mewtwo does all the trainers, great kindness by erasing their memories and rewinding time, to before all this happened. So
Yeah.
they can't.
No
He
worries,
also now
guys.
has time travel powers out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Here are my time travel powers. Take those.
Yeah.
Surprise.
See, that's what makes me wonder. If Mewtwo and Arceus got into a fight, who would win? Because Mewtwo could apparently bend the fabric of reality and time and space.
I feel like it's got the Superman syndrome that it was one of the first legendary Pokemon, so they just gave it way too much. How Superman's got too many powers, and he's
Especially in
actually
the manga.
invincible. Yeah. So, oh my God. At least in the manga, Mewtwo actually has a couple weaknesses. Blaine is genetically attached to him. Well, not attached, but linked. And it can change into different forms that make it weak at some points. But this Mewtwo is just Jesus. So
Yeah, he can do everything.
Pokemon Jesus.
I feel like they probably fix that later on, in the
Yeah.
movies. But
Well, that's actually. Has anyone here besides me seen Mewtwo Returns, the sequel to
Yes,
this?
I have.
2 minutes of
Okay.
it.
So
Because
many times.
in-
I had it.
In
Biden
that,
comes back.
they nerf Mewtwo significantly.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Team
that.
Rocket's able to capture him in this energy field thing, and he's not nearly the Mewtwo who could destroy the world
It's awkward for everyone.
that he was before, and it's pretty awkward.
Sure. We need to watch the new Mewtwo
I want to see
Movie.
that one
We were
with
thinking about
Genocide.
that.
with
the one with Genocide.
Mega Mewtwo.
Challenge accepted.
Sounds
I also want to
fantastic.
watch the one that's about the guy with the Mega Charizard X killing
yeah,
all the other
same.
Mega Evolutions, because I think that he's
That
not
sounds
Ash.
Great.
He's
not Ash.
He's a cutie.
Yeah,
like
I
his
love his
scarf
art
thing.
design, actually.
I like his scarf.
All right. So I guess overall thoughts about the movie. What would you guys say about this movie? Talking without nostalgia or with nostalgia, and where does it rank amongst the Pokemon movies? Because personally, for me, yes, if I take the nostalgia glasses off, it's not a very good movie,
Same.
But it reminded me of good old Pokemon days, and I honestly think it is one of the best Pokemon movies. I think 2000's pretty good. We watched the Latios one last year, and I honestly didn't like that one nearly as much as these two.
That's fine.
So I personally rank this Pokemon movie pretty high up because Mewtwo is so cool. So Andrew, what would you say?
Mewtwo is actually a surprisingly well-written character and villain, especially with the added stuff in. It's almost tempting to watch it in Japanese, so that I could see where his where they taught what they meant by morally confused kind of thing.
Because he already was.
He would be morally confused. He really doesn't know what he's doing is super super evil. In this version, he's clearly just I'm evil because shut up, and also
It would
saying
make
bad
sense
things
with
happen.
the whole Giovanni thing. It's he was attacking the Tauros. He probably didn't know why. He's oh, I'm doing this to help my partner. but why? And so,
Why the hell did
Well, he
turn
does
it
say
off?
that a lot, but what is my purpose? Why am I
He's
doing
all,
this?
he's all like Blackboard
I'm Dark
Greymon
Lord
from
Greymon.
season 2 of Disney.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Okay, and then
Digimon.
what do you? How does nostalgia like hold up for you here?
Nostalgia. The fight scenes were cool. And I remember liking that part of Pokemon.
Yeah, the animation's pretty good actually
Animation
for
is
the
pretty
time.
good. For the time, it looks like he jacked Frieza's castle. Like,
Yeah, like the hallways and stuff. I remember that.
yeah,
Frieza
no,
was
like
not
I did like it. Like, I didn't actually like hate it because I remember thinking like, since I've grown up, I remember thinking like that movie's probably awful. Like, I just probably remember it fondly because no, it actually holds up decently well. Like, much better than I thought
Yeah.
it would.
If it wasn't for Pokemon Tears and the whole like fighting is bad thing, I feel like it would be a lot better.
Also, that part in the prophecy, because there always has to be a prophecy.
yeah, but the prophecy is literally mentioned there and then never brought up again. Like it's not
Yeah.
nearly as
But
important
it's
as in the
stupid. Also,
2000.
like I said, the pacing issues at the end where everything happens too fast. But like I said, it's a half hour before we get to the opening credits.
It's because
right?
it's important,
So,
depressing backstory.
I just
Exactly.
there
All the
are-
depression.
There
Yeah,
are
man.
structural issues going on there that could have been like resolved by like pacing out Mewtwo's backstory throughout the movie.
like, even
And-
if they had like minor flashbacks,
Yes.
just like without any text, just showing like, oh, he had a past and things happened.
Yes,
Right.
and
That
then
would've made more
other
sense.
things could have, just been changed. Scenes could have been longer. Like that thing where Pikachu's trying to shock Ash back to life could have like been handled so much better. And was he always turned to stone? Because I feel like it would have been more effective if like.
Oh, I'm pretty
It
sure.
was
it's
like,
always stone.
there's
Yeah.
nothing Pikachu can do since he's turned to stone. But like if he was like trying to.
What if Pikachu got so upset he actually... I taught my Pikachu strength.
Like if Ash.
What if he actually
Like
broke
if
it?
Ash was just blasted and he just kind of fell over, and Pikachu was trying to do like the what are those? What are those?
Shock?
Yeah, like the shocking him back to life, like
Oh,
restart
yeah.
his heart. Like I thought that would have been like cooler, a little darker, but
Yeah.
cooler.
Well, the thing is, what if when Ash was a stone, he just fell and broke?
Well, geez,
They're
now
like, whoops.
I have this really dark image of my mind and like of Pikachu like shocking Ash and like his body like flopping up and then just going back down like motionless.
That's
like
when you
over
use
and over.
Thunderbolt.
Also,
and then you
I
wake
wanted
him
to
up.
make so many Frozen and Carbonite jokes at that like exact moment. I just fall over.
Yeah.
It's worth a lot to me. The Empire will compensate you greatly.
Boba Fett just shows up like I'm taking him.
Of course, Boba Fett would show
You
up.
takes my plan.
Boba Fett's everywhere.
He was Boba Fett.
Your human is dead. The world will turn to ash.
No, that's the next movie, Kenny.
Well, what if this was just Ash's face, not the
Joke.
world?
Let's already made the
If
joke.
only there was somewhere you could hide.
All right, Peter, what would you say?
The movie is pretty tolerable if you don't think about it too much. I think my main problem with it overall is the person you're supposed to... the only character other than Mewtwo, if you watch the right parts, that gets any like actual screen time is Ash. And most of the movie, you're just watching him sort of bumble around and like fall off of things and use less interesting Pokemon. It's like half the movie is just like him falling off of roofs and slides and like
And
getting
breaking both of
shocked.
his legs. Don't forget that in front of his friends.
Like I love that part, but like the majority of it is just like the main character, the hero, is just sort of lame and just not doing anything.
I kind of disagree with that actually because like
Wow.
unlike the other trainers, like they're just like when
Well,
those
they
when
did
those
just get
black
their butts handed to them by one Pokemon.
I know,
and
but
one of
so-
them got thrown across.
So
the room.
did Ash, though, and they're just like trying to half-heartedly like bat away at those black Pokeballs that are going after their Pokemon. Ash like is running after Pikachu. Dives under there.
Because he has
blows up the
preteen
machine,
rage. They're past that point.
And so I don't know. Ash is actually pretty competent in this. I feel
Well, see, the
like.
way-
He tries. He
mean-
does try.
He tries, but it's sort of like a tiny bug thrashing in the water trying not to drown.
See, the
Whereas
thing
I feel like he's trying in a way that he has no chance of succeeding. And I would have liked it if the hero had a little bit of power.
Well, the only reason he didn't have power, the other people didn't do anything, is because that part, when you're playing sports, that one kid just bolts out and does all things for you. They try to do something, the kid's like, I'm the real hero. And they're
the
like,
real
let's
hero.
not stop Ash here. He's going to do something big. And he failed. They're like, whoop-de-doo.
And what would you rank it amongst like the other Pokemon movies?
Among the other ones, I would have to rewatch a lot of them. I would say this is probably like my favorite one, just based off of it being the original and seeing it in theaters. Non-nostalgically, I would probably still put it at the top, but I still haven't seen a lot of them recently. So
Right, Clara.
I really liked it. Probably See, I've got this thing where if I watch movies with people who are very skeptical, like Jeremy, who like talk and criticize it the whole time, I have a hard time like seeing past that, and it ruins it for me a little bit. Only I was making comments too, everyone was making comments, but if I watched it by myself or with like a very small group of people, I probably would have been able to like form a more of an opinion that wasn't like skewed by other outside noise. But I still enjoyed it a lot. There are some parts I realized when I was a kid that I had stuff that I missed when I was a kid that I now realize, like the pacing problems, and like Andrew said, how the beginning of the movie is 30 minutes after the start of the actual film, and how Ash and like Peter said, like Ash doesn't do all that much besides try real hard. Like he gets a gold star for trying, but like it just bothers me how much Misty and Brock never get to do. They're just kind of there going, "Hey Ash, you okay?
Great job.
Someone better do something. It's bad. We're not gym leaders or anything.
Not me, she doesn't have Gyarados
Whoops."
Yeah.
It's over there. It's like literally over there.
Yeah.
yet. Just take the other one.
I still liked it a lot, but I don't know. My favorite movies are still probably the Latios and Latios one, and the Deoxys one. I have a special place in my heart for. I really like the Deoxys one a lot.
That one has Rayquaza in it, so that's cool.
Because Ruby, like, 3rd gen is my favorite. So both those movies are in the 3rd gen for me, and I love it. Like, I like the Jirachi one too, but not as much.
That one's only cool for the Groudon bit at the end.
Yeah, that was terrifying. Like, it's got a Flygon in it, and I
scary.
love Flygon. Flygons are the best dragon type, even though they've got super weakness to ice. But I liked it.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's interesting what you bring that up because, like, honestly, I enjoy it when we watch like the Pokemon movies like as a group, and we make fun of it, you know, at the silly points, but then we can also like appreciate like the nostalgia value and the points where it is cool, you know. So I feel like it's a nice.
It's different for people
nice
who don't
balance.
have like that same nostalgia value for it. They're like, "Oh, look how dumb this is." But
Well,
at
I
the
mean,
same time,
'cause
it's like, guys, I grew up with this.
Jeremy came out like a screaming ball of rage in his youth, so I mean, he hated everything. So that's the thing. Like, he's like, I hated this movie when I was a kid. I'm like, well, I loved it, Jeremy. So, and I cried.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, he's gone on record as saying like the whole Pokemon Tears thing, like he absolutely does not like that.
Like, when I was a kid, it affected me a lot more, but now I'm like, it's kind of silly.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
thinking about it, these Pokemon crying for a stranger. I mean, I can see how it would be touching, but probably not that magnitude.
Again, Pikachu.
I don't know. I know, but Pikachu
got that
convinced
effect on
them.
people.
Pikachu convinced them. Pikachu is very good at talking.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Apparently.
He's the real hero of the series.
He
like,
got
Ash
like
fails.
he critted on his diplomacy check.
Oh, yeah, he did. He got
Yeah.
nat 20 times 10.
At 20.
All right. And Kenny, what would you say?
It's hella tight.
Hella tight.
I like the part when Ash broke his legs.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah, that part's
Yeah, I do want to see someone make a gif of that where he just like falls down, like lays down, and then just end it there.
If they're just playing the Neon Cat song I was doing, it just sounds funny in my head when I see it. It's just doing it really fast. Well, see, the thing is about the movie was I saw it in theaters. I've only seen 2 Pokemon movies, Pokemon 2000 and that one, because I saw like the one where there's I think it was the one with the gods. They're smacking each other in a really weird place and the things are exploding.
Oh, yeah,
Ash
Dialga and
freaked
Palkia.
out. Yeah. All I know is I saw it on like Cartoon Network. I was like, things are happening. This is a lot. Oh, the Entei one. I saw the one too. That was creepy.
That was creepy.
But yeah, so I've seen 3 of them. This is still my favorite one because I mean it's the one I saw in theaters. That's one where I got the little, you know, my Jigglypuff gold plaque from Burger King, and I had all my cool cards and my marbles, and I was like, I love Pokemon because I just got into it. And then the movie came out, and I was like, whoa. But then my mom hated it so much she never took me to Pokemon movies again. So it kind of ruined it for me too. But see, I always liked it because my favorite Pokemon, other than Poliwhirl, because Mewtwo, he's freaking sweet. He's a guy who can talk and blow things up, but he's a Pokemon. He was in Melee. He could kill people, and it was cool. And that's why I liked the movie.
he was a
Like,
good
looking
character in
past all
Melee.
of the glaring problems you guys have pointed out.
Yeah.
It still has its hilarious moments. Team Rocket always makes the movie for me because
Oh,
they're
definitely.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And in the end, I mean, while the pacing was pretty awful near the end, like, you know, Ash should have been, you know, just dead. It would have been better. I still liked it.
If they had actually killed him, all those kids would have left the theater crying.
Yeah, no. Either way, though, no, I like it a lot. It's a very awesome movie, and it was
Digimon
cool.
would've done
The
it.
only thing it was missing was, see, one good thing about it, excuse me, my biggest kudos is in one scene, one shot during the Pikachu vacation, they had at least 6 Poliwhirls. So great job there.
Yeah. For those out there, Poliwrath is like his.
Poliwhirl.
Oh, sorry, Poliwhirl
I have
is
a
your.
plush. Do you know they sell Poliwhirl plushes? Because I have one. Like one day for Easter, I came down. Oh my god, it's almost his anniversary. Sorry, yeah, he's like what 10 years old now. When I was like 6, I came downstairs. Mom got me Poliwhirl. I didn't even know she knew that was my favorite Pokemon. That was making it up for the movie.
That's adorable.
Yeah,
Like a little bit of a fun fact though about like the whole turning to stone thing in Pokemon Special on the comic book. I think it's around the end of the Gold, Crystal, Silver arc. No, I lied. Ruby and Sapphire arc, where Ash, well not Ash, Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow. No, I lied. The people who represent Ash is Red. The Green is Gary. Blue is not there. Silver is our rival in Gold, Silver Crystal. And Yellow, who doesn't actually show up in the anime, but she is represented of Yellow version. They get turned to stone because of something that happens with Deoxys and this evil mad scientist. So people actually turn to stone in this, and they have to get a wish from Jirachi to save it, which causes like a whole nother arc to happen. So when it turned to stone, that just like flashed in front of my eyes when I watched it. I was like, oh yeah, this happened. This happened somewhere else, and there was time to mourn over this. And like there was a huge like rush to get this done because something had to happen in like a year. It wasn't translated into English very well, so I didn't get a whole lot after that. But
See, little did they know they just had to make their Pokemon cry, and they would have been all better.
Oh,
No more
boy.
stone.
Kick Pikachu in the nuts.
That's just
No.
rude.
Yeah,
I
don't do that,
recommend Pokemon
Pikachu.
Special. It's real dark.
Yeah, doesn't Arbok get cut in half or something like that?
It's
Real
Koga's.
things
Okay,
happen.
Koga's a dick. So
Okay. And before we wrap up, Clara, you need to give us your Japanese fact of the week.
the original Pokemon in Japan were red and green, and Pokemon is actually Pocket Monster, so Poketo Monster, and yeah.
I see.
Awesome.
Now we know.
Awesome.
All right.
Indeed.
So this is usually the part where we talk about what we're going to watch for next time, but we've
done.
we've sort of decided, yeah, we've got next week is the last week of classes, and then finals week, and then it's over. Everyone goes home for the summer. We won't ever see each other again.
Unless you wait till next year, Alex. Calm down.
Oh, okay, everyone
I'm
doesn't
going
see
to
each
be
other
dead next year for a few
So-
months.
No,
Alex, it'll be our senior year. We're
I
big
know.
boys.
I
I have
know,
a
man.
roommate position open for somebody.
We're not gonna talk about that.
All right.
We're not
So
gonna talk about the fact you guys are gonna be seniors.
I know it's
Old.
we're gonna be senpais. Yes.
We already are senpai.
Yeah, dude, come on. Wow, weird.
I guess senior senpais then.
Wow, we're gonna be
make it
technically,
weird
you're
how
senpais
juniors.
'cause You're older than anybody.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I'm the oldest.
Woo.
I don't know, Clara.
Oh, you're senpai. Go
Pretty
ahead.
senpai.
Call me senpai.
All right, so I don't know. I think this has been a good year for Shred Cels. Looking back, like we had a lot of good episodes. You know, we had our 50th episode. That
was
was
a good
kind
one.
of a big deal. You know, did top tens. You know, we did a lot of Korra episodes. You know,
We
the
did
Gurren
do
Lagann
Korra.
episode, Attack
don't
on
talk about
Titan,
that.
Kill la Kill. You know, there's been some
Clannad.
good shows.
Clannad.
I've never cried more
I
on a
finally
single thing in
got
my life.
that. I finally
Yes.
got my
Go,
Clannad
go.
after story.
I'm not kidding. I've never actually cried more in my life than at that moment.
It's true. It's true. for
Godzilla 2000 is the only thing close enough.
me. Really?
What? There's a story behind that. That's for a different time.
Were
Okay.
you also stabbed at the time?
No, I actually had a horrible bout of depression, so I cried for 2 hours straight.
Fair enough.
I see.
So now that you know you asked, Alex, I hope you're happy.
Well,
Yeah,
Peter's
it's
the one who
fine.
asked, actually, not me.
It's Alex's
I
fault.
was
Don't
stabbed
worry
by
about
emotions.
Yeah, so it's been a good year. So I want to thank you guys for being with me. You know, you four have been like the real, like, reoccurring cast. throughout
We
this
really
year.
have.
you're not
Like I said, I think I've been on like every time this semester.
Yeah.
What, Lou?
Peter and Andrew in particular, I've just drafted them. You know, they cannot leave this
Being
room.
kept in a Pokeball, and he's letting us
here
out
when I
to
hear
talk on the
problems.
podcast.
I'm secretly a ditto.
When there's Dragon Ball Z promise, I'm always here.
Oh, that's right. We kept on saying that the clones weren't actually clones; they were Dittos.
Yes,
that's
I
the
love
secret
that theory.
behind his
Yeah,
They just brainwashed
of his
Dittos.
Pokemon.
but they had little markings.
That's no, just only Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise did.
Oh,
The
you're
others
wrong,
didn't.
Yeah, and that's because the baby clones.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he
yeah,
meant
they're the
had
original.
same markings.
Yeah.
Yep, makes sense. There you go. So thank you guys for being with me, and thank you, listeners, for listening to us for a year of Shredded Cells. We'll look
so
forward to. Thanks, Kenny. We'll look forward to next year. In I guess that'll be August. We'll be coming back for the 4th year of Shredded Cells.
Next year's Psycho Pass.
Yes,
Yes.
Psychopath season 2. We're totally going to
Screams
do
loudly.
that. What if Kagari comes back?
I will cry tears of joy.
Kagari again?
He's
Oh,
the
wait.
orange-haired one who's very flirty and really cute, and he totally should have ended up with the Kanny.
He should have. That's right. I forgot about that series.
But he got murdered.
How could you forget, man?
Because I know I watch other stuff.
Because you're the
I was
worst.
thinking about Dragon Ball Z a lot.
Of course.
Yes, you do.
It's distracting.
Apparently, you only have room in your head for one anime at a time.
Polyworld, Dragon Ball Z.
It's
That's
always
it.
DBZ.
And Fudge Round.
Okay. So,
Anyways.
see you guys next year then. So long.
Boogie boogie.
This product is copyright AVW Productions 2014.